This is how I became the U.S. distributor for Fredenstein. I was at the AES show, and at that point, I was the U.S. distributor for Quantec, and the lady from Quantec, Alma, I think that's her name, a German lady. She came and she rented a booth, and she really had no way of demonstrating any of the gear. So I had to arrange to get a headphone amplifier and all that, and I sat at the booth and I helped her out. But two booths up from me was Fredenstein, and one of my clients came up to me and he said, "You should check these guys out. It's pretty interesting." So I went over there and I looked, and they had a lot of gear there, 500 series racks and modules, and there was this German guy, Fred Stuckert, and he is Fred from Fredenstein, and German guy, and he designs everything. And I started talking to him, and he really had a lot of really great ideas, but he had no distribution in the United States. And I said, well, if you want, I can do it for you. And we'd start talking, and he thought, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I remember Chuck Ainley was at the booth, and I talked to him about Fredenstein, and he told me a bunch of stuff about it and how great it was and how he uses it and not. And I go, well, that's good enough for me. Talking to somebody with those kind of credentials, and he wasn't trying to sell it to me. He was just telling me how he uses it. And I said, all right, I'll get involved with this. So they sent me a bunch of demo gear, and I start sending it out to dealers, and I hired some reps. The reps would be people that would take it to the dealers and get the dealer network all set up. And then I'd get a commission to the reps, and I have to set up the pricing structure for everything. But at the beginning, all that was selling was the 500 series racks. They had the Bento 6, which is their 6-slot one, and a Bento 8 and a Bento 10. But their modules and their big compressor, they had one that was a Fairchild copy, and they had this big the compressor, and then they had the mic pre that was supposed to be a copy of what was it? Oh, I forgot. I think it was a Telefunken, something like that. But it was really good stuff. When you took it out, people heard that, but that end of it was pricey. So what ended happening is, I got a little bit of a network going on, and when everything was said and done, because the stuff was being made in Taiwan and shipped to me, the shipping was killing me. The dealers were making good money. The reps were making good money. The customers were really happy with the product. But when you boiled it all the way down, I was losing money on every sale. And I just kept on thinking, well, if I could just get a big enough dealer involved, it'll even itself out. And I remember getting in touch with Sweetwater and even Vintage King. And I couldn't get Vintage King involved in it. And Sweetwater, I even volunteered to them. I said, I will drive out there with the whole product line and go through the whole line with your whole salespeople. And I was talking to Chuck Surak directly. And he said, oh, no, we're not picking up any more 500 series modules or anything related that way. And I said, but look at the price point on these things. I mean, they made a mic pre that was like $200 list price, and then they make a compressor. Things were entry level, then mid level, then high end level. I mean, they made a tube mic pre that was a 500 series module. So they had a lot of really great ideas, and they go, no, we kind of, we're not picking up any more lines. And I think the nail, in the coffin that kind of sealed it for me is I got a pretty big shipment from them, and there were some things that weren't right with the shipment, and I had to return the stuff. And paying for the shipping coming in, I was losing money. So paying for the shipping going out was going to kill me. And at that point, I said, I have to resign the line. I mean, everybody was happy with it except for me. I wasn't even breaking even with the line. But I got enough people to recognize the line and know what the name was. Before I got involved with it, they would say, well, it's just some company from Taiwan. No, it's a company that has a German designer who lives in Taiwan. and it's made out in Taiwan. So still, very well made equipment. So I resigned the line, and here's the funny part of the whole thing. Fredenstein found a distributor in Ohio that picked up the line, and almost immediately, like a week after they picked up the line, Sweetwater became a dealer for it, and they picked up the whole line, everything. And I even reached out to that Chuck Sorak guy, and I said, why is it that you picked up the line after I resigned it, but when I had it, you wouldn't pick it? And he said, oh, George, don't take it personally. We just decided to pick it up at that point. And it just, that coincidence didn't sit right with me. So it just kind of tells me that the politics of being a rep or a distributor and having your connections, that's a big deal to get those connections all established. Because I just didn't have any connections to Sweetwater. So this little distributor in Ohio did, and they just walked it in, and now they're, I guess, are popular. You see them all over the place, the racks and the modules and that. So I kind of started that line. I don't know, I did. I started the line, and I just didn't benefit from it at all. And the thing I found out about being a distributor, you can't be too good or too bad. If you're really good at it, the manufacturer will take the product away from you and start selling directly. If you're too bad at it, the manufacturer will take it away from you because you're not, selling enough. You have to be an average distributor to be a successful distributor. And I was in the average part of it because I was buying a decent amount, but I wasn't making any money. So it was a very unique situation. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Fredenstein. Good product line. I launched it. I got it going. Didn't benefit from it at all. I learned a big lesson from that. I became distributors for other lines. I'll talk about those later.